Welcome to a humid day in Jacksonville, Florida. Welcome to opening kickoff weekend for the 2021 season, and now America's Game of the Week. And this matchup between the Green Bay Packers and the New Orleans Saints. Glad you're with us today on Fox. Green Bay won the coin toss. They deferred. So the Saints will start this game with the football. That means a lot of him. That means a lot of the mind of that man, and that means the dawning of the Jameis Winston era with New Orleans. Crosby to kick. Deontay Harris waiting and still waiting. Out to the 25. It will come, and for the 20th season, I am glad to welcome you into the broadcast booth with this guy as my partner, Troy Aikman. And what do you think? What do you think with Jameis Winston and him now being in the hands of Sean Payton? I'm excited to see how this unfolds.
Well, I am too, and what an opportunity he has in front of him. But as he goes into this game, I've got to believe that he's faced with a lot of pressure coming into this game, knowing the shoes that he's trying to fill with Drew Brees, and then also the expectations of this football team. It's Sean Payton's job to get him some completions early in this game.
They're going to start with a handoff to Kamara. Right side, well played by the Green Bay defense. Up front, a gain of just one. And to put some numbers to it, first time after 15 straight seasons with the great and future Hall of Fame quarterback Drew Brees at the controls. It's someone else, and that someone else is this man. Number 1 overall draft pick by the Tampa Bay Buccaneers back in 2015. Basically sat out and learned last season as he steps into it and finds his man. First down catch out near the 40, and that's Marquez Callaway for 14.
Look at the protection, first of all, that Jameis Winston is afforded. He's able to sit in there. His first read he doesn't like. He comes right off it to a second read. Nice progressional read by him and delivers a perfect football.
So a 1-yard carry and now a 14-yard completion. Out to the 40 it comes. Winston takes it and picks up another first down. We just had an audience join us. He just dipped into Jameis Winston carrying it for 11 yards after a 14-yard completion to Marquez Callaway. And it was infectious, Troy, talking to Jameis Winston about this opportunity. As I said, basically sat out last year, learned from Sean Payton, learned from Drew Brees. I think he's going to have a tremendous season with a better offensive line and one of the great play callers we've ever covered.
I think this was the best situation he could have fallen into last year, taking that year off.
Kamara takes it down inside the 45 for 5.
I mean, it's one thing to be a backup to a guy like Drew Brees and to be able to watch how he studies, how he prepares during the week, how he handles game situations along with Sean Payton. But typically, you don't then get to take over the very next year and continue with that same football team. Typically, you would then go on somewhere else. But it worked out as well as possible, especially for him coming off of that 2019 season when he had 30 interceptions. I think the year off was what he needed.
Great protection, breaks down, there he goes. Plenty of room for Winston, who slides down near the 30 to the 29. What a start to this possession. First is the man for the Saints for Winston.
Well, they're manned up across the board, and so Jameis Winston, not an overly fast guy. He's really not known for his running, but yet we've seen now a couple times on this opening drive. When it's been there, he's taken it. So they go man coverage. Nobody is accounting for Jameis Winston. He recognizes it and picks up a nice gain with his legs.
The really good center, Eric McCoy, is down and injured. They look at him. Tom Rinaldi, I know you had an interesting conversation leading into this game.
You did, Joe, and to echo what you said earlier, speaking to Jameis during the week, that joy and that passion and that spirit, so clear on our call with him. Had a chance to catch up with him pregame. 5,500 plus days since someone other than Drew Brees has started a season opener for the Saints. No iPhone, Twitter did not exist. That's how long it's been. As for learning under Drew Brees and their continuing connection, Jameis said he's continued to be in steady communication with him, Joe, including just this morning when they traded texts, sending him encouragement, telling him, you're ready for this, just be you. Now let's go and get it. Joe?
Well, he's going to get it, Tom, here to begin this ball game. First down at the 29. Kamara is down to the 25. He got 4.
With that shakeup, the injury to Eric McCoy, now Cesar Ruiz, the starting right guard. He was a center in college. They move him to center, and they bring in Calvin Throckmorton to take over then at right guard. So 2 positions affected there with the injury to McCoy. Coming into this game, coming into this season, really, when you look back over the last several years, the offensive and defensive lines have been the strength for this football team. They put a lot of emphasis in the draft the last several years to make sure those units are strong.
Winston gets rid of it. Was about to go down. Preston Smith had the pressure, and Winston able to dump it off and avoid a loss on the play. Third down coming up.
That's one of those shot plays. They're trying to get something down the field, and that's an area where Jameis Winston has talked about it. His background with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers and playing for Bruce Arians and the emphasis on getting the ball down the field, at times it got him in trouble. And so what he learned from watching Brees was just taking what the defense gives you, check it down. That time he was a little late getting to it.
Winston to the end zone. Callaway overthrown. And what started as a promising drive and able to move the football stalls with the ball sitting outside the 25-yard line. And Aldrick Rosas is into the game to attempt his first field goal for the Saints.
I think this is one of those where Jameis Winston had predetermined he wanted to take that shot, but he has a guy dragging across the middle. Had he hit him in stride, he picks up the first down. Nothing wrong with this, though. This has been his money guy throughout the preseason. He's got one-on-one with a good look. He takes it, just unable to connect.
Former New York Giant, kicked in this stadium. Aldrick Rosas hits from 44, and the Saints have the first points of the day. Let's send it down to Erin Andrews.
Well, Joe, obviously with this game being moved to Jacksonville, there were a lot of questions. Would it be predominantly Packers fans, Saints fans? Hearing about 35 to 40,000 Packers fans here, but Aaron Rodgers telling us as he gets set to take the field, he's just happy he doesn't have to deal with the noisy dome. What he does have to deal with, though, are these conditions. Now, Packers players and coaches said, hey, it's been a hot summer. Yeah, guys, not this hot. On the field, by the way, they're saying it's close to 100 degrees. Matt LaFleur, head coach, telling us he is concerned because a lot of these starters didn't play in the preseason, and you never really know how good a shape everyone is until they get out there.
It's a good point, Aaron. It's always a concern coming into week 1. These guys haven't played a full game. A lot of them haven't played at all, as we know, and now you come into this heat. I can guarantee you, if you suited up and you put on a helmet and a jersey today, you're going to get on the field, so you better be prepared to play. A lot of substitutions to try to combat this heat and see who can remain fresh as they move into the fourth quarter.
Rosas kicks it into the end zone. Well, we know the players have tried to prepare for this heat. How about the fans? Just baking in the sun on the far side of the field from where we are, and the Green Bay Packer fans are thrilled at number 12 as that offseason drama behind him. It's back to the business of football, and the reigning MVP of the National Football League is back to work.
Yeah, and you asked me earlier, do I think he's locked in? I think Aaron Rodgers is locked in each year. I think he's locked in each week for that matter, but there does seem to be a sense of urgency. They've made it to the NFC Championship game the last 2 years only to have the year end in disappointment. How many more times are you going to have Rodgers as your quarterback? A lot of things to like with this offense, but it's all dependent on this revamped offensive line that's starting 2 rookies today.
They're going to start their day with a handoff to Jones, and he is ripped down behind the line of scrimmage by Marcus Davenport. Loss of 1. So not just the 2 rookies starting up front, Troy, but a Pro Bowl left guard starting at left tackle, because David Bakhtiari, who's one of the best in the game, And a two-time All-Pro is on the physically unable to perform list for 6 weeks.
Yeah, and so you've got 3 starters that are back that started in last year's NFC Championship game, but none of the 3 are playing the same position. And that's why I say revamped. Guys have moved to different spots, and then you got the 2 young guys.
On second down, Rodgers throws, gets Davante Adams. And Davante Adams brought down immediately by Quan Alexander. A gain of 4, and now the Saints defense, as we look at it, Troy already said they're good up front. Quan Alexander is healthy, coming off an Achilles tear. And the secondary is thin at the corner spots. They made a big trade for Bradley Roby, but he's suspended and not available to play in this one. We'll see a lot of the rookie, Paulson Adebo. 3rd-round pick from Stanford.
I wouldn't think it would take long before Aaron Rodgers spots him and goes after him.
Pass is caught by Jones. Tackle is made, and we'll see what kind of forward progress they give. That's Aaron Jones with a catch, and they're going to mark him a yard short. Tackle made by Quan Alexander, who made 2 plays on that possession by Green Bay.
That was a really nice job by New Orleans. It looked like they were going to pick that up pretty easily with Rodgers finding Jones, and they just rally around and, here Matt LaFleur faced with an early decision on the opening drive of the 2021 season, and it looks like he's going to go for it.
Yeah, they're saying, Matt's saying he wanted me to go for it on 4th down in the champ game. How about 4th down?
Here you go.
With the ball sitting at their own 34, and now timeout is taken. Well, if you want to rewind the tape for Aaron Rodgers, was ranked by The Athletic as the most intriguing player in the NFL. Why? Because he told the Packers he doesn't want to return. That was the report. There's a blurb from SI.com. In June, Aaron Rodgers, Packers working on a deal for quarterback to return this year. Set up eventual exit, which Troy seems to have happened, but there were people in the inner circle with Aaron Rodgers who said he's done. He's not coming back to Green Bay. He's thrown his last pass. So for anybody to say, well, for sure this is it, nobody knows what happens at the end of this season for Rodgers and the Packers.
I agree, and even in talking with Aaron Rodgers, he doesn't know. I think it's easy for him to speculate, as you would expect a lot of other people, but I agree with you 100%.
The early 4th down try, they fake it to Jones. Pass is caught, 1st down. Conversion on the catch by Marquez Valdes-Scantling for 3. And Aaron Rodgers and Matt LaFleur have been raving about number 83 and the way he's come back to work this year.
They try a rub route here, anticipating man coverage with the short distance on 4th down. And, yeah, he's a guy who Aaron Rodgers talked about his offseason, his training camp, his improvement, and the way he's catching the football. More importantly, he's always been a speed guy, but he's running much better routes, the best he's run since he joined the Packers.
Hand off here to Jones. And a gain of just a couple.
This defense for the New Orleans Saints, one of only 2 teams that finished in the top 5 in run defense and pass defense. Dennis Allen in his 7th year as a defensive coordinator, what a job he has done. Very few teams, when you look around the league, are really good on both sides of the ball. The Rams were the only other defense last year that did finish in the top 5. They lost some good players from that group last year, depending on a lot of young guys.
There with that David Onyemata, good defensive lineman, suspended the first 6 games. Play action from Rodgers, looking for Tunyon, and he throws behind him. For good measure, Demario Davis was out there and ready to make a play, but it's 3rd and 8. So we'll see what Matt LaFleur dials up.
Well, this is when Dennis Allen likes to get real creative. In fact, in talking with Matt LaFleur, he said that he feels that Dennis Allen is the best in the league. in giving a lot of different looks and the different pressure packages that he's able to deploy on third down.
Third down and 8. Rodgers, protection breaks down. Rodgers out to his right. Nowhere to go, and he throws it away. Well played by the Saints defensively, and pressure from Cam Jordan, who's in his 11th year and just relentless as usual.
That was a heck of a series there by this Saints defense. They bring a 4-man rush, and they're able to move Rodgers off the spot. And usually when you see Rodgers get outside the pocket, it's just kind of hold on as a defense. He's going to find somebody, but everybody plastered onto their guy. There was just nowhere for him to go with the football.
Corey Bojorquez, who was traded by the Rams, but with Buffalo, beginning of his career, and his first real punt for the Pack. And a fair catch for Harris. He stays away, and it goes backward. Tapped down at the 24. Saints had their own quarterback drama, I guess, if you want to call the battle between Jameis Winston and Taysom Hill dramatic. But as camp went forward and the preseason unfolded, Jameis Winston looked really good, and his head coach said, he's our starter, he's done a great job, he's earned that. Second possession for New Orleans, up 3.
Well, there was a time where it looked like Jameis Winston was going to run away with the competition, but then there was a stretch where Taysom came on and made things a little bit more challenging in that decision.
Costa Kamara, well played by Green Bay. Preston Smith, gain of 3.
You know, and I'm not sure you can really have quarterback competitions the way that you once were able to. The guys just aren't competing against each other enough. There's just not a lot of reps that you're going to have. You got Taysom Hill. He comes in and he does every week, but he's got a prominent role in this game plan here today. And if something were to happen to Jameis Winston, Trevor Siemian would be the backup coming in.
Here is a handoff to Tony Jones Jr., who's taken over as the backup to Alvin Kamara, gets 6. And a third and short coming up. Let's look at this Packers defense up front. They're very good with Kenny Clark, Pro Bowler 2 seasons ago in the middle. Rashawn Gary gets the start, but Zadarius Smith, who's been bothered by a bad back, will rotate in, we're told. And the secondary with Jair Alexander, one of the best corners in the game, and Kevin King across from him. Hill gets it, tries to smash forward, and he does for a first down. Taysom Hill for 2.
Well, a lot of respect for Taysom Hill, competing, as you said, for the starting quarterback position, and then to come in and do the things like that. And he's a guy, Joe, who I don't know if his future will ever be at quarterback, but if he wants to continue in the role that he's in and be an H-back type guy, tight end, a move guy, and all that we've seen from him, he can play in this league for a long time.
Actually started and signed with Green Bay. It looked good in the preseason. They cut him loose. Picked up by the Saints, and Sean Payton went to work with him. Kamara on first down. Gets knocked down by Amos after a gain of 3.
You know, we talked about Jameis Winston and what it was like last year, and even, you know, the rapport that he's been able to establish with Sean Payton. And when you have that as a quarterback with your play caller, it is a great feeling, and you know kind of what the call is going to be before it even comes in, because you two are so much on the same page, and he knows exactly what his reads are. You're seeing a decisive quarterback right now in the pocket.
Kamara able to carry for a first down. And Taysom Hill threw a good block to help Alvin Kamara pick up 8.
He sure did. Good block by the tight end, and then Taysom Hill, he kind of leads the way.
We welcome in the audience that was watching what turned into a thrilling game between Cincinnati and the Vikings. Cincinnati winning in overtime. Second possession for the Saints, and if you look at Jameis Winston, a quarterback for New Orleans, he has Harris. Deontay Harris to the 37 of the Packers for 17.
Watch Deontay Harris. This is an outstanding route. I mean, he just completely turns around Kevin King, and Deontay Harris, a lot of people think he's somewhat of a novelty because he's a return man and he can flat out fly, but he's not just a speed guy. He showed that last year. Weren't really able to take advantage of some of the things that he can do getting down the field because of the limitations that Brees had with his arm strength. But with Jameis Winston, he can get it down the field, and he showed right there his ability to set up a defender. Really good stuff.
Play action from Winston. Great protection. And throws it away. Over the head of Kamara, no grounding.
I got to tell you on that one, Joe, that as much time as he had, and for him not to find anything and then throw it away that he did, I mean, I'd have to think that Sean Payton's pretty happy about that, because there was a time when he would try to force this ball in somewhere, and so really good stuff here by Jameis Winston. How about the offensive line, though? We talk about the uncertainty of the Green Bay Packers offensive front. This offensive line for the Saints, even though they've lost their starting center, what a group they are, and they have been for a while.
Ruiz still at center. Handoff is to Jones, and over the left side, he takes it just to the 35, a gain of 2.
You know, on the defensive side of the ball for the Green Bay Packers, the biggest change from a year ago is a defensive coordinator. Joe Barry comes in and takes over for Mike Pettin, who had been the defensive coordinator for the previous 3 years. He was a holdover from the Mike McCarthy staff, and Matt LaFleur kept him. But now he's got his guy. He and Joe Barry were on the same staff with the LA Rams in 2017. And I know LaFleur, what he wants to see more than anything is a defense flying around to the football.
He's got Za'Darius Smith out on the field right now. Winston to his right. Gonna run and get it to the 25. 6'4", 231 pounds, and the 27-year-old gets his third first down on the ground of the game.
Big runs already here in the early going, and he goes and gets it. And I mean, he knew exactly what he needed to do. He knew how important this third down was to pick it up and keep the drive alive with a chance for a touchdown, and lowers his shoulder and does it. Tell you, came in talking about the pressure that maybe Jameis Winston was feeling, and he has settled in here nicely here in this first quarter. He's done a lot of good things.
10th play of this drive, and handoff to Jones Jr. He was on the practice squad last year and won a spot during the preseason with what he did. And then the Saints had to cut Latavius Murray for salary cap issues as they tried to add to their secondary, and did. The signing of Desmond Trufant and the trade for Bradley Roby.
Watched Tony Jones in the preseason, and I thought he definitely earned the spot. He did some good things and also saved them a little money, which was important based on where they were with the salary cap.
Here's Kamara, 3rd and 2 coming. Let's check in for the first time. The game break. Here's Carissa.
Thank you so much, Joe. Some of your audience saw the ending to this game. 5 seconds left. Rookie Evan McPherson's 38-yard field goal is good. Bengals get the win in Joe Burrow's return from injury in overtime. Joe?
Big win for Zach Taylor as they start 2021 with an overtime win over the Vikings. 3rd down and 2 here, under a minute to go in a fast-paced first quarter. Good protection again. Pass is caught, and we'll see what they give him. Looked like he got it. What a catch by Kamara on not a good throw, and it might be enough for a first down.
Yeah, this is what gets Winston in trouble some. That's an outstanding job of Kamara, just being able to make the catch. It is enough for a first down. It should have been a lot easier than what it was. And Winston, when he's gotten in trouble, besides when he has forced throws, it's been accuracy, and he usually does miss high when he misses. But what a play by Kamara to keep this drive going with a new set of downs.
Last play of the quarter. Hand off to Jones, right side. Got about 8.5. What a start for the Saints. Already leading by 3 and knocking on the door. Second quarter coming up after this from your local Fox station. Well, this is some scene in Jacksonville, Florida. These two fan bases have traveled here. You think fans didn't want to be back in stadiums? These Packer fans are amazing. Aaron's report, 40,000 coming down here. Taysom Hill in at quarterback as Winston checks out. Hill keeps, throws, first down, first and goal as Tony Jones Jr. is knocked out by Alexander.
You think of the break that the Packers have had now each of the last 2 years. Last year when they upset the Saints in the Superdome, there was no crowd then, and then this year to open up this season, they come here to Jacksonville, and this is more of a home game for them than it is the New Orleans Saints.
It's because of their fans. They do have to deal with the heat, though.
They definitely do, and it is going to be a factor, and probably already is for this defense. They've been on the field a lot already.
6 first downs on this drive. Little push pass to Kamara. He is in for the touchdown.
They run this to the short side of the field. Look at all the pursuit that the Packers have, all the bodies that are over there to that one side, and yet he's able to get it across the goal line for the touchdown. A great effort here by just putting his foot in the ground and getting up the field and punching it in.
This to make it 10-0 by Rosas. For now, it's ruled a touchdown run by Kamara. Winston pushed it to him. The great number 41 did his thing after that. Aaron Rodgers has seen the Saints go up 10. Busy offseason for Aaron Rodgers. He and Bryson DeChambeau defeated Tom Brady and Phil Mickelson in the match out in Montana. Largely regarded as a sensation as a guest host on Jeopardy, and he reported to the Packers training camp July 27th. I'd like to refer to him as the second best guest host on Jeopardy, but
absolutely. I mean, I was going to say, sounds like your audition. You were nothing short of sensational yourself.
We actually talked about that in our little production meeting. He was great. Yeah, there you go.
There you have it.
I'll take who's got better hair for 500.
Was that not stressful?
Oh my God!
I mean, for a guy who lives in front of the mic and on camera,
for a guy who didn't graduate college and is generally regarded as dumb, yeah. I'm talking about myself, not the other guy. Yeah, it was a blast though. So fun, and we're so proud of Aaron to walk out on the stage and have the presence to host that thing after not doing that. That is not easy, no doubt. He was great. Off, and it's A.J. Dillon who's able to inch it across the 30, a nice gain of 6.
You know, coming into this game and visiting with Sean Payton, he said, you know, there was a time when we were okay if a game turned into a shootout, but not this game. And, you know, but yet here they are. They've got a 10-point lead and have dominated the line of scrimmage. The offensive front's done a heck of a job both running the football and protecting Jameis Winston, and I still don't think he wants to get into that shootout, but right now, this offense for the Packers needs to get something going and try to give that defense of theirs a little bit of a break. They've been on the field a lot here in the first quarter.
Second down and 4. They're riding Dillon here for a first down. A.J. didn't get a ton of work last year as a rookie. Second-round pick out of Boston College. Was phenomenal at the collegiate level. Last year, had a big game week 16 against the Titans, 21 carries, 124 yards, and 2 touchdowns. But it's predominantly the lead back, Aaron Jones, that takes control, and Jamal Williams, who was there, and the backup is now in Detroit. So A.J. Dillon slides up one rung on the ladder. Packers needed that first down. Here's Rodgers. And down goes Rodgers. Sacked by Davenport.
Well, they're feeling that they're going to influence Davenport up at the top based on the action in the backfield. And instead, he comes up and he rushes Rodgers. And once again, there's just nowhere for Rodgers to go with the football. This secondary has just been plastered onto these receivers. Man coverage once again. And Rodgers takes the sack.
That time it was Zach Vaughn, linebacker, who was all over Tunyon. And Rodgers takes the sack. Here's Adams. He has to reach for that. And Demario Davis says, have a seat. A gain of 7. 3rd and long coming up.
You know, the only time that Marshawn Lattimore and Davante Adams have faced each other was Lattimore's rookie year. And in that game, Adams did not have a reception against him. He only had 2 receptions total for 12 yards. Last year in the game, Adams did not play. Now, that time they're putting Adams in the slot some. Lattimore does not go with him in the slot. But in that game where he did not have a catch, Aaron Rodgers was not the quarterback. Brett Hundley started that game. And I know, knowing Davante Adams, he wants to get after him in this one.
3rd down. Pass is incomplete as Valdez-Scantling fell down. And Paulson Adebo, the rookie, was out there, not alone, and it's 4th down.
Not alone, but kind of alone. So they've run a 4 cross. They got man on the outside, and he just slips, as you said. But really good coverage, tight coverage by Adebo. And then he's able to stay on top of it and transitions pretty well at the top as well. So it's a pretty good showing by the young player.
Bojorquez, 2nd punt. Why'd they get him? Hang time. And he led the NFL in gross punting average. This punt takes a Bojorquez bounce. And we'll go for 47 yards. Frustrating start for Aaron Rodgers and the Packers as they trail by 10. This possession starts at the 20 for the Saints, who have put up points on each of their first 2. Number 2 dumps it off on a screen. Pass is caught by the tight end, Adam Troutman, for 8. Let's just go back. Jameis Winston is tired of hearing about the interceptions. 2019, the first 30-30 guy in the NFL. Half of that is good, but not re-signed by the Bucs after 5 years. Backed up Drew Brees last year. Had that 56-yard touchdown pass in the divisional round against the Bucs. And named the starting quarterback on the 31st of August, and off to a good start. Handoff for a first down. Tony Jones Jr. Let's say hello to Kurt Menefee with a game break.
Well, hello, Joe Buck. Say hello to the first Giants touchdown of the new year. Daniel Jones hooking up with Sterling Shepard, now wearing number 3. He scores from 37 yards out, and that gives the Giants the lead over the Broncos, 7-3, midway through the 2nd quarter. Back to you guys.
We'll see the Giants and the Washington football team on Thursday on NFL Network. Jones again, right side. See where they like him, gets 9. Amos has to make the stop, but you've already said it up front. The Saints are winning this battle.
They're dominating them right now, Joe, on the offensive front. I mean, they're just moving the line of scrimmage. Andrus Peat, the left guard. You got Ruiz, the center. But watch the good job that these 3 right there do and the movement that they get. Just pushing the pile. And all kinds of holes inside right there. Right now, Sean Payton, he's got everything he wants on that call sheet is available to him.
Handoff for a first down to Jones, averaging 6 yards a carry prior to that. Got 4. The word on Eric McCoy is a lower leg injury. His return is questionable, but right now with Throckmorton at guard and Ruiz at center, the Saints are rolling.
There's Sean Payton, one of the best offensive minds this game's ever known, and what a challenge he has in front of him this year. And I think, he didn't say it, but how could you not, if you're a competitor, not be excited about coming into this season and just proving with a different quarterback what you're able to do? A lot of chemistry between he and Drew Brees, and what a friendship, and won a lot of football games, but this is a little different challenge for Sean Payton.
Yes, Kamara, what a burst.